Wait, who's in the hot seat? You're in the hot seat?
Perfectly excellent.
Hey, how's it going, party people? Welcome to Perfectly Excellent, episode number... That's you. You're supposed to say it now.
50. I know, you're pointing the wrong way. I'm over here, though. It's the big 50.
I pointed forward.
I went like this. We're halfway to a century.
Yeah, I don't know how we've managed to
you pointed that way, and I'm here. 50, congratulations. That's a lot of us on the internet.
Yeah, I don't know how we managed to do 50 episodes of this to no fanfare, but we're still chipping away, halfway to 100. So thanks for those who are coming out and saying hello.
Yeah, mild fanfare.
Minimal fanfare.
Minimal fanfare. Yeah. Cool. How's it going?
And I'm exhausted. I feel like that's like the start of every episode that we've been doing lately, but it's just like the last couple of days have been particularly stressful at work. So I've been juggling a lot of things, and then I was in a flurry of activity trying to get everything together for this show this evening, running around, making links, making graphics, making slides. I'm exhausted, and I've done almost nothing but work since about, I don't know, quarter to 7 this morning. I've been just doing something, and I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. We are going to talk about doing something, but at least it's a good kind of doing something today.
It is, but it also makes it so now I probably am going to have to do a lot of the talking because you didn't do the thing. I did the thing.
You did a thing, but that's okay. I'm curious to learn more and ask you questions about the thing.
How are you holding up?
I'm in a similar boat. I'm wiped out. This week just did me in. It's been busy at work, and I think what was it, Wednesday night I came home, went to bed, got up, and went back to work. So It was I got home at 11:30, got up at 6, and that was it. That was the past couple of days. So
and there was much rejoicing.
No, there was not much rejoicing. There's rejoicing right now is that I get to work from home on Fridays, so that's a good thing. But,
very solid.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm tired, but I'm excited to talk shop. I'm curious to hear about your experience at this event, this Do Something.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute, but I think we'll start off with some invention exchanging.
Let's do it.
Perfectly excellent.
All right. Well, I am in, as you like to call it, the hot seat. So I will go first. Now, when I went to the toy show that we're going to be talking about a little bit later, I did make some purchases while I was there. So as I think I'm going to probably do for the most part, when I go to a toy show and buy something that I'll show later, I'll use the Invention Exchange to show some of the modern things that I'm still picking up. And one of the two main toy lines that I'm still actively buying new toys of is the Godzilla reaction figures and the G.I. Joe classifieds. And I got some new Joes to show off.
Oh, let's see. Go Joes.
All right. So to start, we have the Cobra Dire Tech Night Creeper. And
he looks creepy. He looks like he would creep at night.
Yeah,
Wait a minute. That's not a person. What is that?
Yeah. So like the gimmick with the Dire Tech is it's like hallucinogenics. So what your enemy sees this Cthulhu type person, which is why it's all green and wacky.
So we are hallucinating is what you're saying.
Absolutely. So they made, like, Dire Tech started with the character Crystal Ball, and he came with that same Cthulhu head. But I don't want to display him with that head. I want to display him with his normal head, so I bought one of his minions so that I can display the Cthulhu head.
Yeah. Wow, I wonder what this guy, do we know what he looks like when we're not hallucinating?
Yeah, he's got an alternate head. I can't tell.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Got it. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm definitely not the Joes that I know, but it looks like Cobra had to up their game.
Not that that's like a new character. Like that's not really, well, the Night Creeper was a thing, but the Dire Tech is new to the classified line. So this next figure I got is also one that I don't know this character at all. Apparently it's a character from the comics, but I really like the way that it looked. And it's basically a female version of the Snake Eyes character called Dawn Moreno. So we got Dawn, the alternate head with the Snake Eyes head. So again, I just thought this was a really cool looking figure, and that's sort of where I've landed with classified. While I do want to get all of the 82 to 86 figures, I'm also going to buy the ones that I just think are neat looking.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that, because I don't know if you know, which I'm sure you do, there's a very interesting classified figure coming out, which is a weird crossover. I don't know if I got all the details, but the Tomb Raider figure.
Yeah, there will be a Lara Croft figure, which I think goes up for pre-order on the 13th or something like that.
I'm tempted by that one. That might be a buy for me, just because we don't have a good Lara Croft figure.
I'm not sure, because like I never played Tomb Raider. I never had any of the systems that Tomb Raider was on, but it's a good looking figure, so maybe we'll see. Next up on the list.
Remind me of that one. You said the 13th is when it goes up?
I think so, something like that. It's in mid-January or mid-July.
Right. So I have time to think about it.
A little bit. Cool. So the next one is, again, a brand new character to classify. This isn't one with a history, but like he's really cool looking. It's Sundown. He's kind of a Mexican cowboy looking fellow. He's got the hat and the poncho. Poncho? Is that what it's called? The blanket thing?
Yeah, he's got a lot of names.
Yeah, he's good. I like him.
I dig this. I like this look. I don't know why. I've always dug that.
Yeah, I like it too.
Cowboy-esque thing.
And then the last one is one of the members of the 82 to 86 club, which I was, what I'm trying to get. And I think his original character came out in 84, and it was Airtight. And I'm really psyched to have him. He's got like his cartoon accurate widow's peak, which I enjoy, and his helmet. I can't really see what I'm doing here. There it is. There's the helmet.
There's something there. There's something. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. So 4 new classifieds. And
it's a good haul.
Love him to bits.
Yeah. How come Airtight doesn't have a real name?
He does. Oh, it's not on the box though. Weird.
Is it like just Jeff?
I don't remember. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but he certainly has a name. I wonder why it's not on the box. That's weird.
I only noticed because that last guy had like 4 names.
Most of them do. They have like their nickname and then their first their government names. But Airtight
their government
on the box. That's interesting.
Yeah. All right, then. And now I'm here. And I'm looking around. I've been slowing down on purchases. I haven't had many boxes come in lately. But there's a couple things within Graphs that I might show off here. I'm just debating. Nothing super exciting. Now, I don't have 4 Joes coming in. I do have a pile of loot, which I have to ship. And I wonder if that could be like a 6 demon bag, because I have not shipped anything from Big Bag Toy Store in a long time. So there are things in there.
Well, then you'll have Invention Exchanges for quite some time.
For months to come. Maybe I could show off this one. This is what is known in the business as a filler item.
What's the business?
The business, when you don't want to pay for shipping, but you just need to cross that threshold and you're not quite there. And I thought it was neat when I filled the item, but I think it's really neat now that it has arrived. And it is Mr. Game & Watch Amiibo.
Huh.
Now Amiibos are these weird like things you're supposed to use on your Switch to load data, save data, unlock stuff. But this one is just so cool. It comes with, you can customize it. Lots of different.
Oh, there's
Mr.
other fellows down there.
Lots of other fellows. And he's got his parachute behind him from Parachute. I don't know. And this one, I liked it so much more now that I have it in my hands, when it was just an item that I needed to get free shipping from Nintendo. So, yeah, so neat, so nifty. I don't know
what Game & Watch is that. What Game & Watch is that character from?
He is from all of the Game & Watches. He's from, if you look, it's this typical guy typical dude who's not Mario or any other
Right.
recognizable character. So probably from, I don't know, Ball, Parachute, Fire, you name it. I don't know, but I have a soft spot in my heart for Game and Watches, so I thought it was pretty neat, and it's way cooler now that I know it has all those extra parts in there. So I don't know, I have fun with them. Maybe I'll make a good photo. I'll definitely look good on a shelf right next to a Game and Watch or two. So
Very nice. I dig it.
yeah. Oh, sorry, I banged the microphone. So yeah, nothing super exciting today, but again, I won't. Yeah, you're right. Once that box of loot arrives, there will be we'll be eating good for weeks.
All right. Well, you want to get on to the main event?
Let's get on to the main event.
Perfectly excellent.
Do something! Do something! Do something!
I did something.
You did something. You've been on a tear lately. You've been doing lots of things.
I'm trying. You didn't get to do this thing because this was the Mullica Hill Toy Show that took place this past Sunday, the 21st, which was also Father's Day. And from what I can tell, this show's been going on since 2022, as some people call it. And I guess it's always on Father's Day, which me not being a father does not affect me much. But for those who are fathers, this seems potentially inconvenient.
Well, I think it probably works one of two ways. One, if you're a father, you might be able to say, hey, it's Father's Day. I want to go to the Mullica Hill Toy Show. And that's how I want to spend Father's Day. The other way is if you're a father and you really have no choice in what you're going to do that day. And not that I fell into that category, but I did want to spend time with the people that make me a father, I guess.
Gotcha.
So that's how that worked. But yeah, it looked like an interesting time.
Yeah, so I will definitely say that there were far more kids there than are at typical toy shows that we go to.
And fathers?
There were a lot of families there. So there was more of that going on than usual, for sure. But yeah, it was a fun show, and I kind of wish that you had gone. I heard about this. Basically, I don't remember who it was, but I just saw a post about it on Instagram, and I started sort of looking into whether or not it was worth going down there, because it's not close to where we live up in northern New Jersey. It's down in the southern hemisphere of New Jersey. Ooh. And so I looked around for pictures and like YouTube walkthroughs, and to be honest with you, I couldn't really tell anything, but I decided to just sort of go for it and just see what happens, come what may, as I made the ride down there.
And look at that, there's pavilions.
Oh, we'll get to the pavilions. Yeah. We'll get to the pavilions. So the drive ended up not really being too bad, especially leaving to get there right when they opened at 10. So I left the house at about 7:30, and it took a little over 2 hours to get there with a convenient rest stop break on the New Jersey Turnpike.
Always a pleasant experience.
For some reason, it took me like a half hour longer to get home, and I don't really know why, because I wasn't sitting in traffic or anything like that. But for whatever reason, it took longer to get home.
When you drive north, there's headwinds, right?
Perhaps. Yeah. There are lots of things it could have been, but for whatever reason, it took a little bit longer to get there. But it was not a bad ride at all. The fact that it was probably a Sunday morning, I'm sure, helped. The fact that it was Father's Day may have also helped. But it was a pretty easy ride down there. I sat around, I listened to old 1992 episodes of the Stretch and Bobbito show, and I was cruising.
Yeah, sounds like some good kind of zone out time. All right, cool.
Yeah,
so you drove and then you stood in a line.
Then I stopped. So when I got there probably about like 9:45, and as you can see, there was a pretty long line of people waiting to get in. And this wasn't one of those shows that had like an early bird access. It just opened at 10 o'clock.
Oh, nice. No birds, just everyone.
No birds. Just fathers.
Yeah, just
mothers.
Does look like a lot of fathers there.
They were mothers.
Yeah.
So this big line, I got there. I stood in it for approximately 20 seconds when a person with a megaphone instructed the people like, hey, that's the line for people who have paid already. You have to go to the other thing and pay and get your wristband, and then you can go into stand in the big line. So there was a smaller line. You pay, you get your wristband. And then when the doors opened, everyone in the big line just sort of walked through.
Yep.
Pretty painless.
What was the cost of admission for this?
I don't remember. I think it was only $5.
Nice. Look at that. That's a solid show right there. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think it was like less than the Wayne Toy Show for whatever reason.
What is Wayne is $5 these days, but the Toy Con is, I don't even know what they ask for at Toy Con nowadays.
I think it's like 15 or 20 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, as far as like the show layout, as mentioned, there are pavilions. They're 4 pretty big ones. They're like, the buildings are obviously outside, but as you can see from the picture on the left-hand side, they're just sort of like roofs on poles, essentially, which I guess is what a pavilion is. There were 4 of them.
I don't know what the technical term, what do you need for a pavilion? Do you need like part of a wall, or is this sufficient enough?
Yeah, I don't really know what it entails exactly, but these are what they were. And
nice. Okay.
There were 4 of them. They had a bunch of vendors in. You go from pavilion to pavilion, as you would if you want to go to all of the pavilions. And there were also a handful of vendors that I guess kind of like drew the short straw, and they had to set up on the pathways outside of the pavilion. And the sun was pretty brutal for those. Like the ones who did not bring their own tents, they were just roasting in there.
Amateurs though.
Well, or maybe latecomers. I'm not sure how it's decided who gets stuck outside. But
and this is billed as a toy show, right? It did say the toy show, because the pavilions scream like flea market to me for some reason.
Yeah, no, this is the Mullica Hill Toy Show. That's what it is called. It is at a 4-H grounds in Mullica Hill, South New Jersey. It's pretty hot out. It probably could have been a lot worse, but I was glistening a little towards the end of my time there.
Yeah, the pavilions, they keep you out of the sun, but they don't keep you cool, huh?
Not they are not the Mr. Turtle pool. They do not keep you cool. As far as comparing them to other shows that we've been to, versus the Wayne Toy Show, like just from that one picture of that one pavilion, it's way bigger than anything going on in Wayne right now. Yeah. As far as Toy Con goes, probably bigger than Toy Con, definitely better than Toy Con. It was a much better show than that. Compared to RetroCon, that's when you'll start feeling this is a little bit maybe more like a flea market than like a RetroCon style toy show. Like there weren't a ton of like super high end things like that. It wasn't as fancy as a RetroCon. I'm not RetroCon, Zolocon.
Okay, got it.
RetroCon's the one we are going to, but as far as Zolocon, it doesn't have as many big ticket fancy things as a Zolocon.
It wasn't a showcase. People were here to sell and wheel and deal.
Yeah. There was commerce happening in this morning.
Nice.
And then versus the one I went up to in Connecticut, the Shop the Curiosity, it wasn't as good as that. That one I think is still like the best toy show that I've been to. But I think it was probably like right there with Zolocon as far as like the second best one I've been to. It was just a lot of fun.
What we should do, since you're doing a lot of do somethings, we should get out like our S tier chart. You see those where you can rate things? So at the end of the year, we can look back and see where all the somethings, what was the best somethings of the year.
All right. I'm okay with doing something like that. But yeah, it was, we do something. It's a good show. As far as the breakdown, I would say it's mostly vintage, but definitely some modern stuff as well. Maybe like a 65-35 split, 60-40 split, but mostly vintage. There was a lot of the normal stuff that you'd expect, like dig bins, Matchbox, Star Wars, wrestlers, some of that mid-range stuff that maybe you don't see quite so often, like Care Bears, and like right in the middle there is your buddy from the Power Lords, which I think you said you had him once upon a time.
Yeah, that's great. I have not seen him. He's looking well.
He's looking good. Looking good. It was nice to see some Hesh trucks. I haven't seen those in a while, and I'm really happy that the one from 1985 is still only worth $17, despite being told that those were going to be worth a lot of money someday. So it's nice that they are still pretty much worthless and popping up at the occasional toy show. I enjoy that.
How much did that cost in 1985?
I don't know, but we had that one. Like we had a couple of Hesh trucks because again, like the thought was like, oh, they'll be worth money someday. And it's like, no, they are absolutely not worth any money. There was someone selling a whole bunch of Lego those wax packs, and I thought that was cool. And I did pick up a wax pack. I don't know if you can figure out which one I did from that display, but I picked up a wax pack.
I gotta put in a suggestion here. I want to go with bigger pictures because I can't quite see what's going on here. You gotta cater to the old men. I think I see I can't make out any of those wax packs. I see an Indiana Jones something to the right there, but there's
I'll put that in the live suggestion box that my slides aren't good enough. So I'll make note of that and we'll work on that for next time.
It's not that they're not good enough. It's like there's so much in there. I have my face up against the screen. I see Ghostbusters, maybe Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. So, but I picked up something from this pile. So we'll get to that when we go to the pickups.
Cool.
I know something that you're interested in is the video game stuff. And there was not a ton of it, but there was definitely some. There were a couple people that had your Atari cartridges and some Nintendo games and things like that. The thing that I thought was most interesting was seeing the full Intellivision and the full ColecoVision right next to each other, in fact. So that was cool.
Yeah, I do I know you're partial to the ColecoVision, but Intellivision, that was my first real console. So very cool to see that. Very nice. Yeah. And I looked it up. The Hess toy truck in 1985. Do you want to take a guess how much it cost?
$10.
No, $3.99. So that is an investment. It was
now
investment.
Now look up what $4 in 1985 is today.
Okay.
Real-time math happening on Perfectly Excellent this week.
Do you think it's more or less than $17?
I think it's
so $4. Go ahead.
I think it's still probably a little less.
Yeah, $4 in 1985 is equivalent in purchasing power to about $12.38 today. So,
yeah, so you've made about $5 if you've held on to that thing for 40 years.
You never go broke making a profit. Right?
No, that's true. That's true. So The other thing about this show that made me really happy was there was a lot more 50s and 60s stuff than I've seen in a while. And even though it's not completely my area of focus, it reminds me a lot of what the toy and train shows were like that I used to go to when I was a kid. And I really liked that Flintstones lamp. And I don't know if you remember that, but that thing in the top corner, that's like a Gilligan's Island water toy.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was Gilligan's Island toys, and I'm amazed at that. That looks incredible.
I knew someone that had that. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, that thing!" I didn't have it, but I knew someone that had the Gilligan's Island figures, so I thought that was cool. And that Dick Tracy car, that Dick Tracy car is probably 2.5 feet long, gigantic. So I was really psyched to see some of the old 50s and 60s stuff because we don't see that a whole lot in most of the places that we end up.
I don't think there was any at ToyCon at all. So very cool.
So also some of the weird stuff. I always enjoy the weird stuff. The Fletch jersey was cracking me up, and it wasn't until I was putting the slides together that I realized that it was signed by Chevy Chase.
I just noticed that now. Yeah, who signed it?
Chevy.
Oh, did he really? Wow, look at that. Impressive.
Well, either that or someone wrote his name.
It's worth the same either way.
Yeah. But I don't care about autographs. That's not really my thing. But I just thought it was really funny to see a Fletch jersey there. The Chuck Norris Karate Corvette. I remember the commercials for Chuck Norris Karate Commandos when I was a kid, but I never had any of those toys. But I was completely unaware that he had a karate specific Corvette that he drove around.
You can't be surprised, though. I mean, obviously, he's got a karate Corvette.
Of course, yeah. Of course. But I didn't, until I saw it, I had no idea. Yes. And then a nice, crisp, empty box of Ecto Cooler. That was fun to see as well.
Oh, at least this one was empty. Remember the dude at ZoloCon had a full box of them. Still full. Drink at your own risk.
Yeah. So, I said, there wasn't really a ton of super high-end stuff, although there was a few things. This person had a bunch of graded Mad Balls. And these are $1,500, $2,000 a pop for these guys. So that was interesting to see. Mad Balls are not my thing. I know they're pretty popular right now with a lot of people who collect stuff. I never had any when I was a kid, but it was still interesting to see the first series graded, super high end stuff.
Yeah, I imagine those are, if you're into those, you have to get them probably mint on card, because if someone played, I think my younger brother had these, and I recall they got just destroyed.
Yeah, I think they're foam, so like I would imagine they just, at this point, they're just got to be deteriorating like crazy for the most part.
I'm sure if you opened one of these, it just was like disintegrate in your hands. Cool.
So the other thing was, I was really excited to see stuff that like my brother and I had as kids, even if it wasn't something I was specifically looking to pick up. So I came across a few things. The first one is that Spider-Man wallet. And I don't remember if I had that or my brother had that. And neither of us used that for our wallet, as best I can remember, but we definitely had that in the house. And I remember that just kind of being in like a box of toys. The other thing is the Batman, the animated series Happy Meal display, which was a Happy Meal when I worked at McDonald's. And that was the one time I was allowed to take a display home. So
that is the display? That's crazy.
Yeah, so I did have that at one point, and then I gave it to the keyboard player from the Pie Tasters when Snuff stayed at my house, because he was playing keyboard for them, and he really wanted it, and I was just like, sure, you can have this. That was back in 1998. So I have a feeling that had I not given it to him, it probably would have been destroyed by now. So I don't think I would have really ever gotten anything out of that, because it would have just been, it's cardboard,
Yep. What are the chances that that is yours?
Probably not great.
Okay. Excellent.
but you never know. You never know.
Yep.
And then one of the other things that we saw was something my brother had that I thought this was awesome, was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sewer hockey, like the foosball hockey with the sticks.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, we played this a lot when we were kids, and I was probably a little too old to be doing it. But I had a younger brother. This was his game. Like, I would play games with him. But it was really neat seeing this. And I sent this picture to my brother, and he said, "Oh, I remember that." I'm like, all right, well, that's good.
There you go. The mission accomplished. Does that say 225 on it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
All right.
So
that's great.
I bought a couple things while we were there. So I'll go back to Invention Exchange land. But let me flip-flop that.
Nope, but there we go.
So the first thing, I did buy a wax pack.
Oh, the A-Team, right? Very nice.
I bought the A-Team wax pack. Now, I'm not going to start collecting trading cards, but there are a handful of just like sealed ones, because I want to just throw a couple of them on the shelves and just sort of enjoy them for what they are. So I got the A-Team one. I also got another A-Team item, which is the Ertl power pull van on just like the worst beater card in the world. So I feel no guilt whatsoever when I pop this guy open.
Yeah.
It's a floppy guy.
Sad. I think you're doing it a favor at this point.
But the van's mint. So very excited about that. So got a couple 18 things.
Ooh.
Bought a couple figures, and these next three I bought from the same person, and we did a bundle deal on them. So the first one,
you're really good at haggling at these. Like you've inspired me to work on the bundle deals and to haggle more.
I like the haggle. So we got the Silverhawks Monstar, which
never pace than the other one.
Oh, I lost you there. I didn't hear what you just said.
I said I like that face better than the first one.
Yeah. The second face is better. But he's got his little bird friend. All good to go. So we got Monstar. Now, I didn't have a ton of Silverhawks when I was a kid. In fact, I only had this one. So that's why I just want this one. Again, not going to start collecting Silverhawks, but this is the one I had when I was a kid, so I wanted him.
Last week, your Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I'm sorry. What about
the mouse?
You are lagging, and I don't. You just said something about Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and I have no context as to why.
There you go.
Oh, the root beer Cinnamon Toast Crunch that we talked about last week. Gotcha.
Yeah. Cool. Pace yourself. You don't want to wear yourself out there.
Also from this same person, I got Thundercats Panthro. Really nice paint. His face and spikes are usually all messed up. And he's got his nunchucks. And the last one was I got the vintage Mumra, who has Mammoth. And
okay. But wait, there's more. What is that? A wrist blaster? Oh, wait, that thing. What is happening here?
his eyes light up.
Has he got a battery in him that he's lighting up? Wow.
So anyway, I bought all three of those from the same person, which, funny enough, is actually one of the people who sells at the Wayne Toy Show. He's one of the people. You know how there's that one group table that's just all the vintage stuff that's like not in the rows. It's like the one that's facing the opposite direction of everything else. But anyway, one of the guys from there was selling it. So, but I got a good deal on the three of them. And again, not going to start collecting Thundercats either. But these were the two I had when I was a kid. I had Panthro and I had Mumra. And I might want to get a Lino because my brother had Lino. So I might want to get a Lino, and then I'll have the three that we had when we were kids, and I'll be good to go for that.
Nice. Solid pickups.
One more. And again, this is totally outside of my wheelhouse. But it was one of those things where I was just looking at it, and I was like, man, I really like this. And I walked away from it.
Ooh,
and then I went back to it again.
Bold move at a toy show, right?
Yeah, and then I walked away from it a second time.
Oh my gosh! Now you're just.
And I really thought about it. Like, is this going to turn into one of those? Like, I'm going to regret walking away from it. So I did a little research to make sure that the price was copacetic to where like I wasn't getting hosed on it or anything. And I did a little haggling, and I got it knocked down a little bit more. But I bought a 1960s Auburn Disney stagecoach. So it's got Goofy and Donald and Mickey. And man, I love this horse sculpt. Like, wow. I just love the way this horse looks.
This is a very interesting find there. I can't say I've ever seen this before.
Not something I would have ever gone there looking for. Not something that I would collect a whole bunch of things like this. But something about this, and it was specifically the horse, just was really like, it just really interested me. Like, aesthetically, I just thought this was a really cool thing. So I decided to grab it.
Nice. Have you done any research to figure out like what it is, where it's from, or anything?
It's from the 1960s. A company called Auburn created it. And yeah, I mean, there was other stuff like that, but I don't need other stuff like that. I don't even know if I need this, but I just like the way it looked. And having walked away from it twice, both times I got pulled back. And I didn't want to leave it behind.
Yes, that's good. And it was there for you. So
it was there. I did leave some things behind, and not like, oh, I was hemming and hawing about it, but these were just things that kind of looked cool that I would have never actually bought. But there was this thing here, and I assume this is probably from the late 60s or early 70s, maybe from the 80s, called Galaxy Command playset. And it was a bunch of like little like army men sized guys on a little like space battle station. Yeah, and I just thought it was really cool looking.
Yeah, again, it's amazing how much stuff there is. I've never seen this before either, at least not that I recall, but definitely looks cool. Something I would have loved as a kid. Anything spacey or like, you know, world building like this would have been amazing. Yeah.
And I came really close. I was really thinking about this. The Radio Shack programmable space robot. Like, hilarious. I think everyone had like these generic sort of robots back in the 80s. And this one was like pretty much new in the box and the box was just perfect. But I did leave this one behind with no regrets. I was definitely tempted by it though, because it's just neat looking.
It's complete with instructions though.
It is complete with instructions.
I love that they couldn't even give it a name. They're just like that space robot.
It's Space Robot, of course.
It's programmable space robot. $40, 1980s. Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, so for shopping.
I'd go again for sure. You know, it was a fun show. I got some good stuff. There was really interesting things to look at. It was grungy enough to where I felt like, yeah, all right, I'm kind of in there in the thick of it. These are more my people. You know, this is not like a fancy place. but there was good stuff there, and it was good quality and good condition, right next to the kind of cruddy stuff if you want to just pick out a Ninja Turtle with no accessories out of a dig bin for a couple bucks. I like that there was both options at that. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, I find it fascinating that you said it was like families and kids, because there are some kids at those other shows, but not many, and certainly not families, in large quantity. So
there was a good amount of them, and it was cool. You have to kind of like weave in and out of the children, which I'm trying to do that, but it was good. I mean, it was much better than anything we get up here in North New Jersey, like way better than any of that stuff. And I have to say, these other shows that I've been going to have been completely killing my interest in going to the monthly Wayne Toy Show. Like I can't tell you how disinterested I am in that after going to shows that are just much bigger and better.
Yeah, I totally understand it, because I have been living vicariously through you for these shows, but even without that, I could see that Wayne show has just gotten sadder and sadder.
Yeah. I feel like I think you've mentioned this as well. There's a show that we can do about the history of the Wayne Toy Show, but I think it will just end up being depressing, and it'll make it sound like we're trying to say bad things about it, which I don't really want to do, but it bums me out, because I mean, that toy show has kind of existed in some capacity since the 80s.
Yeah, and we've been going for as long as I can remember. And we used to go when it was the Wayne Firehouse, and it was dark and crowded and dirty, and just, it was great. When you could buy bootleg VHS tapes, or I don't know, maybe that might have been the record show, but they were all in the same place. But it was, I remember the dirt bin or the junk bins, and we don't have junk bins so much anymore.
Or we only have junk bins, but unfortunately it's all junk.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Hey, we could talk about that. You're right. I don't want it to come off as us bashing it or anything, but it's changed over the years. I mean, it when it moved to the PAL, it got great. There was room to walk around, and they started it was multiple rooms. And now it's just getting smaller and smaller. And that one time we went, it felt like people didn't even show up, right?
Yeah, they weren't even able to fill the smaller room anymore, and it bums me out, because like I would love that to be a good show, but I feel like it's probably just one of those cyclical things where what's first, the chicken or the egg? Are there less vendors because there are less people going, or are there less people going now because there are less vendors? And it just sort of, those two things keep feeding each other, I'm sure. Yeah. And it just makes it kind of sad. But I would love it to be great. So if anyone out there knows how to make it wonderful and fun, please do that.
Yeah, cool.
But you wanted to talk about some upcoming shows that were on our radar.
Yeah, I did not get to do this one with you, but there's stuff happening. I'm going to do something this Saturday, as a matter of fact.
You are?
There we go. Yeah, too many games. Oaks, Pennsylvania. I got to figure out how to get there. I'm very much looking forward to this one. This was a pricey do something versus the maybe the $5 that you spent at this show and the typical 10 to 20 that we spend. So my expectations are pretty high that this will be a good time. So I think I spent like $60 something.
Yeah, and it's the price tag that that's why I'm not just going to like hang out and do it anyway. Like if this was like a $10 to $20 thing, I'd go for the ride and just walk around and look at some video game stuff. I'd be fine with that. But like a $60 commitment to go to a thing that I don't have a ton of interest in usually, because I don't even I get, maybe you can explain it to me. I don't really understand what it is, because I was on the website looking at it, and it seems like it's sort of some dealer stuff, but then like a whole bunch of events, and it just seems like a lot, like almost like a Comic-Con type thing.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it. It's not like just a toy show or like just vendors. There's events going on. There's special guests. I think there's maybe some panels, and there's events planned. I don't know what I'll participate in, if anything. Like, I'm there for just the spectacle of it. This is my first time going. I am going solo, but Mr. Dad will be there as well. So I'll probably meet up with him. And yeah, I'm excited to just look around. I've been watching this YouTube channel called Retro Rick, and he goes to a lot of these different game shows. And it's just, I'm so intrigued. I want to look around. I want to find the weird stuff. Like I have a shopping list of games I'd like to find, but I'm hoping to come home with just some unique things, photos of unique things at the very least, if I can't afford anything.
All right.
Yep.
There might be one or two things that I might want you to keep an eye out for. So we'll have
let me know.
We'll have to talk about that.
Send me your list. It's coming up soon.
The next thing on the list is in July, and it's in Gettysburg, which is famous for something. I don't know, pizza maybe. But
toys.
Yeah, toys. It's called Toys for the Ages. It's a 2-day thing. I am not for sure going, but I think I might want to go. It's about 3 hours and change to get there. So I don't know if you're up for a road trip in July. This might be something. There's a person in Ohio that has an item that I am trying to buy from them, but it is large and fragile and they don't really want to ship it. So I have posed the idea of if he knows anyone who's vending at this show and can get it to them and have them bring it, I can go to this one to pick it up. So if that works out, I'm going for sure. But
what is the distance that makes it like where you end up just doing 2 days? Like, do you overnight for 3 hours?
I just don't know if there's a toy show necessarily that warrants a hotel room.
Good point.
You know, like I'm just not that kind of collector to where I'm like throwing down the kind of money and I'm looking for the kind of crazy things that really kind of warrants that, which is probably another. I'm going to say something similar about that for one of these other upcoming ones. But the next one after that is that one, the Hoosier Collecticon, which is in Indiana, not too far from Indianapolis. I'm not going to this one, but of all of the shows that happen, this is the one that I want to go to the most. I have heard and seen nothing but incredible things about this show. It's a strictly vintage show. Nothing past the 90s, nothing from the 2000s up. They don't sell that there. Wow. The other thing is friend of the show, Scott, lives in Indianapolis. So it's one of those things where there's an overnight that could happen that wouldn't necessarily cost a bunch of money. But the flip side of this is it's either
there's a couch you can crash on.
There's a couch, but there's also either a plane ticket or a 10.5-hour drive each way. So this one's probably out of reach, but it's one I would really, really like to go to.
Yeah, I think it's a drive is well beyond my limit.
Yeah. And yeah, I just don't, again, I'm not the kind of collector that can really justify buying a plane ticket to go buy toys. Like I'm not going to buy anything that rare that warrants a flight.
Got it.
So, after that, we have the Nostalgic Toy Show, which is put on by the Shop the Curiosity folks, which again is the show I went to a few weeks ago, which is the best toy show that I've ever been to. This apparently is a little bit different, where they're also, in addition to toys, they're doing things like, movies, VHS tapes, clothes, just anything nostalgic. My understanding is they kind of, since it's happening in September, they do sort of lean into some of like the Halloween spooky stuff as well.
I dig that.
I am definitely interested in going to this one. The thing is, it is somewhat inconveniently located the weekend before RetroCon.
Oh.
So that would make it a back-to-back road trip sort of situation when you and I have already kind of committed that we are going to be going to RetroCon in September.
Yeah. That's a tough one. 2 weeks in a row.
So we'll see about Shop the Curiosity. I don't know if both of us can go to it. I don't know if I'd go to it by myself. We'll see. But it's on my list. It's one that I'm definitely considering. RetroCon, I noticed that this is also in Oaks, Pennsylvania. I wonder if it's in the same building as Too Many Games is.
I'm sure there's a high chance that it is.
No. But I'm looking forward to this one. I've heard good things. Our buddy Keith has gone to it a bunch of times. He says it's a good show. I've watched some of those like YouTube walkthroughs. It looks interesting because it's not just toys; it's just lots of weird stuff, like like those metal garbage cans that I like. There seems to be a lot of like that kind of wackiness to peruse.
Cool. Yeah, this will be fun. I'm looking forward to this. So we've got September. Yep, September 12th and 13th.
So we'll probably go to the Saturday one, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you go on Sundays, I feel like all the business happens on Saturdays.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So the last full-on toy show on the list is called Toy Palooza, and it's in Monroeville, Pennsylvania, which is Pittsburgh. And the reason why this is on this list is it's a little too far away. It's about 5.5 hours each way, which is a bit much. Yeah. However, the guy that I was talking about earlier that has that big fragile thing that I want, he is definitely going to be at this toy show. So this might be the thing that, like, I might run out of options at some point and either have to get it, or if I know someone else who will be there who can get it for me and move it a little further east. So this is on my list just because if I don't figure something out with this guy beforehand, this is sort of like this is a D-Day that I have to figure something out by.
Got it. Where's this guy located?
He's in Ohio.
Oh, got it. We could work something out based on what's coming up on your list next.
Which is?
Oh, no, sorry. So it's the one after this. So we'll come back to
talk
Ohio.
about this one.
Let's talk about this one. Yeah, I'm super psyched. I actually got a 4-day pass this year, which I have not done in a long time. I haven't bought a 4-day pass. And I was trying to go back and see what the first Comic-Con that I went to, because I've been going for a long time now, believe it or not. And I couldn't find anything past 2011, though. I have no evidence. I got to go through some photos and see if there's something, but I have photos from 2011 and it is now 2026. So it's been some time.
Yeah. I've been to several of these with you. And again, I'm never going to be the type of person that says I'm never going to New York Comic-Con again, but it's probably doubtful that I will go because I just feel like I just haven't had fun. But you were telling me you did it very differently last year than the way that you and I have done it in years past. And you said it was more enjoyable.
Yeah. First of all, you weren't there, which was no, just kidding. When you and I went, we just hit the show floor. I'm kidding. But and I've done that for years too. All we did was the show floor, right? We would start at one end, we would walk to the other, and then we would go back and pick out, whatever we wanted to find that was in between. Last year was the first year since going all this time that I finally went to some panels. Hasbro was there with a panel. They did some Star Wars stuff. It's where they showed off that Tron thing that failed. And then I went to the Alien Earth panel at night, which was really cool. And I had such a good time. I was there open to close, and I wish that I had bought more tickets. I went Thursday, and then I went back on Sunday with my brother, my nephew, and my son. This year, I want to get more time in. So I'll be there Thursday again. And then based on what panels come up, that's what I'll plan what other days I'm going to go. So, but yeah, it was just a great experience. I had so much fun. I hung out with our friend Dan. He's my con buddy. So we met in the morning at the Hasbro panel. He had a lot of other things going on, so he disappeared for a bit and did his thing. And I just kind of did my own thing. And then we met back up. I don't know what to expect. I don't really think I bought anything last year, maybe just something from NECA. So it's not a purchase thing. It's just a spectacle thing.
Well, last year you bought something for me, and this year you don't have to because Hallmark is not doing their cons this year. So the Star Wars ornament that normally I would have said, hey, can you please get me the vintage Kenner style Greedo that they're going to do? They're just going to be selling it online. They're not doing the cons.
Yep. Oh, okay, great. Well, I mean, that's good that it's easier to buy, but it's a bummer because I do like having the missions. It's always nice to we got to go get this and that.
Well, there might be other stuff. There might be other stuff. And then the last one on the list is the closest one. It's in good old Whippany, New Jersey.
Yes, very, very, very convenient. Not a bad ride at all. And a friend of ours, Chris Pincy Picks, lives in Ohio. And will be coming out to this show.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I wonder if he feels like transporting a large fragile item.
We can ask, that's the least we could do.
Interesting. Well, hopefully between now and November, I'll be able to sort something out. But if that ends up being like the last chance, I'm not sure exactly where this person is in Ohio. And I do think that Ohio is a relatively large state. So it might not be.
They might not be neighbors. Yeah.
They might not live next door to each other. So we'll have to see. But yeah. So Legions Con is also another one of those things where I wish I was more interested in it because it's so close. And like we know other people that come in for it. But I don't really collect the mythic. I don't even say I don't even really like. I don't collect any of the mythic stuff at all. I don't have a single figure in the line. So while I like the idea of just like going and walking around, it just seems like it would be a waste. Although I guess if anyone out there wants to sponsor me and pay for my ticket to buy your exclusives, I could go do that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably an opportunity there. I don't think they've announced anything just yet, but we have some time. But Legions Con is the least con thing on this list. It's much more of just a hangout because like there is such a huge community, huge but very close-knit community for Legions Con. So you go to this and it's just every old friends connecting, people coming from all over, like our friend Chris coming up from Ohio. So this is really more of just an awesome hangout in addition to there's a show floor with lots of cool stuff to pick up. They do an armory where you can go and basically build your own figure from a selection of various parts. Very, very cool. And I'm super looking forward to this one. This one is always a great time. But again, it's the people more than anything else in this. And the challenge here is they have so outgrown this location, but I think they've committed for another 3 years here. So there's vendors like in the hall, outside of the main show floor. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's cool to see these people like everyone take over this hotel and watch those that are just staying at the hotel for other reasons, wondering what the heck is going on, like why all these gremlins are there and whatnot. But good time.
Are they going to have a dragon by then or what?
TBD. There has been no mention of the dragon for quite some time. I'm not anticipating it will be there for this. And it's funny you mentioned that because I've made arrangements to sell the figures that come with the dragon to someone. And he just checked in recently like, hey, any word? I'm like, nope, have not heard a thing. So the dragon will be its own event, Dragon Con. Well, that's actually a real thing.
I think that's a thing already. Isn't that in Atlanta or something?
We'll have to live stream from the pickup of the dragon because I'm sure it'll be an interesting day.
So anyway, but look, there's a lot of stuff on this list, and while we're absolutely not going to everything on here, we're going to hit some of these. So there will be more do somethings. There will be more recap episodes. So if anyone enjoys this sort of thing, there's going to be more of it. And if you don't like this sort of thing, well, just avoid the show the week after each of these things, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah, we'll put fair warning. Yes, I will do my best. I will take lots of photos. I will take video, and hopefully I'll look for some interesting stuff for us to just talk about from Too Many Games.
Cool. And you can make slides that you can see.
Yeah, I have to make old man slides. I didn't mean to insult your slides. It's just I can't see. I couldn't read those packs. But we should live large because thinking about our viewers there, probably sitting on a phone. Or, I don't think many people are sitting watching on a computer. So let us know. Do you want bigger pictures? Help us help you.
Well, we're going to wrap things up for today, but we have a new closing segment, which I think we're probably going to just end every episode with this. It'll put a nice little bow on everything. And we got a new Chester Copperpot soundtrack intro bumper thing to do now here when I'm going to push on the
Let's do it. First time.
The
Yep. The unveiling.
Perfectly excellent.
I've never played Yahtzee. I don't think I ever.
You never played Yahtzee? It's fun.
We should do it. We should play Yahtzee one day. Let's write that wrong. But yes, you were saying this is
now playing, where we're going to each pick one thing that we have been enjoying lately, be it a game, a record, a TV show, movie, anything that you can play or watch, any expression of entertainment that you can think of.
What about a sandwich? Would a sandwich
no,
qualify?
we've got the whole food section for that now.
Okay,
but this is basically just like something that we've been enjoying like the past week or recently or something like that. Cool. So you, I think, wanted to start this off with something that you've been telling me a little bit about, but I don't really know much about it.
Yeah, and it's better that you don't. It's really dumb. But it's the dumb that I need right now when I just want to shut my brain off and stop thinking about everything that's happening in the world. And that is Star Wars Droid Tycoon, brought to you by Fortnite. So this is a mode in Fortnite. You know, Fortnite has multiple different modes that you can play, and people can make their own games and things like this. But as you can see, this one is very licensed by Star Wars. Has all of the Star Wars droids in it, and it's a tycoon game, which means you start from nothing and you have to kind of build up your own empire, and not like Darth Vader's empire. This is like your droid empire, I guess. Here, there's a giant sand crawler with a bunch of Jawas, so you know I'm already in there, and they're selling blueprints to make droids. So you start out, you don't have a lot of money. So obviously you can't buy super valuable droids. So you pick out a few, you build them, and then you put them to work, and they start earning you more money. And then you could buy more droids, and then you can earn more money, and then you can upgrade your base, and then you could buy more droids, earn more money. And it's just, it goes and goes and goes. And it sounds so dumb, but I've sunk so much time into this lately. And to make it even worse, they have special events where they have what they call their iconic droids, like BB-8 is an iconic droid. And this weekend, R2-D2 will be released in this event. So you have to play the game during the window that the event is happening if you want to obtain those droids. And like a moth to flame, I cannot stay away. Like, I have to get these droids. So they've got me hooked. But it's completely free. No microtransactions. Yeah, you don't have to pay for anything. There's nothing that you could buy in the game with real money. So if you wanted to just go in there and actually just build a bunch of droids and collect them, you have like a checklist of droids to try to make sure you have them all, and there's different rarities and different levels. So it's been a ton of fun. And best part I saved for last is DJ Rex from Star Tours, Oga's Cantina, and Galaxy's Edge is in the game. He's hanging out in the cantina playing music, and you can actually get him. He was an iconic droid from one of the events, and you can get him in your base. And I have him, and it's good times. So,
that's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it, but actually Rex is the background image of this, because I thought he would be a good now playing thing since he's a DJ.
Oh, yeah. I just caught that right now. Yeah, that's perfect. He's what sold me on this. Just seeing him in the cantina, hearing the cantina music, like they did their homework. Everything looks great. It's got bugs and glitches, but it's still a lot of fun just to run around the sand crawler. There's Jawas all over the place that you can sell blueprints to, sell droids to, and it's a good time. You can go and shoot a bunch of stormtroopers if you'd like, if that's your kind of thing. But it's a relatively just peaceful game. If you play with other people, just beware, because there are jerks out there. If a rare droid appears in front of the sandcrawler, so a lot of people will use force push to push everyone out of the way so they can grab it. But you can also just play by yourself and not have to deal with that. But a lot of fun. Yep. So that's what's currently playing in my neck of the woods. How about you, Tim?
Well, you had mentioned that did you say this was silly or stupid or something like that?
It's both. I would use, those are both good adjectives.
Well, I'm not sure that it's as silly and or stupid as the thing that I have been that I'm doing for now playing, the thing that I've been enjoying a lot lately. Although I did sort of foreshadow this with some of my pickups, is I've been watching the A-Team for the past few weeks. It's streaming for free on Tubi.
Oh.
And I started with I watched A-Team when I was a kid, and I loved A-Team when I was a kid. I think most people loved it. But I haven't seen it since, 1985 or something like that. This show is so fun. It is such a fun show to watch. Are there things in it that have not aged well? Absolutely. There definitely are. But as just a fun thing to watch, I am enjoying the heck out of this. I've watched all of season 1. I think I'm like 3 episodes into season 2. And when I was a kid, I only really remembered how much I liked Mr. T, how cool Mr. T was. Mr. T is definitely the least interesting of the 4 characters on this show. Those other 3 guys are so great. But Hannibal is awesome. He is great. Face is incredible. It's such a good, stupid show. And it makes me upset that why can't we have things like this anymore? This was on network TV, and they're blowing up tanks and cars and stuff on a weekly TV show. Why can't we have something fun like this? But I was gonna say, you're inspiring me. I want to check it out.
I love this show too as a kid, so I need to. If it's free on Tubi, it's good for me.
Yeah, it started in 82. I think there's 5 seasons altogether. I like I said, I just started up season 2, but I'm just really, really enjoying it. It is a lot of fun. There is some stuff that, again, doesn't age well. One of the things that Hannibal does is he dresses up as other people to hide, and sometimes he dresses up as things that aren't necessarily white guys. That sometimes isn't a great look, really. But but again, as a whole, the show is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and there are fugitives, right? They're on the run, so they have to do what they do to stay off the radar, like blowing.
They're
up
on
tanks.
the lam. You do crazy things when you're on the lam.
Why were they on the lam? Were they accused of something they didn't do?
Yes. They were convicted of a crime they didn't commit, and they promptly escaped from maximum security federal prison, into the Los Angeles underground.
Yep. Did they ever say what the crime is? I don't remember.
In the first episode or 2. I don't remember exactly, but basically they were told to hit a bank in Vietnam, and then something happened, and they tried to make it the military tried to make it seem like they were trying to rob a bank and then get out with all the money.
I mean, look at Mr. T. That's a lot of bling there. So
he looks like he might have, had a little extra cash.
Yep.
You never know.
Murdoch was always my favorite because he was weird. He was wacky.
Yeah, he is weird. It's an excellent show. It's not an excellent show. It's a stupid show, but it is a very fun show.
Hey, and you know what? We need stupid fun right now. So
yeah, very much so. I'm into it. But the thing that I like the most about it is, in Police Squad, and maybe the Naked Gun too, but in Police Squad, they do the things where they're having a shootout, and Frank Drebin is they show a shot of him, and then they show the bad guy, and then they zoom out and they're 2 feet away from each other.
Yep.
That's essentially what happens in the A-Team all the time, where they're really? They're just killing each other with machine guns 10 feet apart, and no one ever gets hit.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'm excited. You got me hyped up on this. I want to check it out. I used to love this show. So
my goal is I want to start rewatching all of those 80 shows. Knight Rider's on my list. I want to watch Knight Rider. I want to watch Airwolf, and I want to watch Riptide. Those are I want to get all of those into the rotation and start watching some of those.
Okay. Yeah, those are good shows. Good times.
So, but that'll do it for episode 50. I don't know which way to do it.
Yep.
But 50 episodes of this silly thing.
Yeah. Coming back with 51 next week after too many games. So we'll see what we find there.
I hope that you have a splendid time at that. And Alan is also planning, I've put a couple of walkthroughs on some of the toy shows that I've been to lately. They're not all that interesting, but just 10, 15 minutes, just kind of walking around and getting the lay of the land. Alan said he will be doing one of those for Too Many Games. So look for that. And then we'll follow that up with an episode and we'll chat about it.
Look for me walking around like this.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Filming the
It's
things.
good. It's a good look.
It is a good look. I'm next week we will answer the question of, are there really too many games?
Ooh.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We'll see everybody later.
Yep.
Perfectly excellent.